Welcome. What's going on, everybody? We are live for a Knicks Nation post-game show that will include a little bit of a preview for the first round matchup against the Detroit Pistons. It is official. It is finally official. The New York Knicks will face the Detroit Pistons in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Positive. Now we know who we play in the first round, so we can get into that a little bit later. But once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. The New York Knicks just lost a basketball game to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they are now 0 for 8 against the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics this year. It's not what you want, ladies and gentlemen. It's not what you want. Knicks clearly wanted this basketball game because the starters were playing in the fourth quarter. Brunson, everyone. OG Anunoby missed a critical layup there in the fourth quarter. Late in that game, seconds that could have gave the Knicks a better chance to win. He was too much underneath the basket and he missed the layup, and it was all she wrote. After that, Darius Garland turned into a superstar in the fourth quarter. Knicks had no answer for Darius Garland in the fourth quarter. And look, the Knicks are now they're winless against the Boston Celtics and winless against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's bad. I get it. It's not what you want, ladies and gentlemen. It's just awful. Like it's unheard of, actually. I wouldn't have expected this New York Knicks team to go winless against them. But here we are on April 11th, and they're winless. But I don't really know how much to take from this game. Although the Cleveland Cavaliers seem like they wanted it, Knicks seem like they wanted it, and the Knicks just another terrible third quarter from this Knicks team. That's back-to-back nights where they just look lifeless. And you're sitting there like, I hope this does not happen in the playoffs, because if this happens in the playoffs, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be an issue. If these third quarters of doom, I mean, it's been happening for years, man. I can go back 10 years. I mean, the third quarter of doom is real. So, yeah, they got to clean that up. Tonight they looked lifeless in the third quarter. Offensively was just like, what were they even doing? They weren't even running sets. It just looked like they were playing playground basketball. Again, it's like, I don't know. Now is when the fun starts, though. Now is when the fun starts. This game, look, they lost. Indiana lost. Detroit lost. So that has the Knicks in the third seed, and the Knicks face the Pistons in the first round. And here we go. And my camera again. Here we go with my camera again. I'm sorry. There we go. All right. I guess because I keep doing hand motions. Appreciate you guys in the chat once again. Thank you for the support. Subscribe, like, all the good stuff. We'll get into Knicks Pistons in a little bit. I'm excited for that matchup. Joel says, what's going on, Joel? No finals for the Knicks this year. El Figgy, we are on our way to Cancun. Isaiah says, I want Thibs gone. Oh, man. The chat is lit tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I already see it in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen. Tony says, are we the 3 seed because we're playing like a playing team? El Figgy says, and we lost to bad teams too. Eddie says, we had no defense. Loud and clear. What's going on, loud and clear? What's good, Knicks fans? Blew another 20-point lead, which seems to be our MO as of late. Got to find ways to close games. Playoffs are around the corner, man. A lot of blanks to be filled still. Look, this Knicks team has some issues right now. They do. And since the All-Star break, they're bottom third in the NBA in three-point percentage. That needs to clean up. Great sign that Landry Shamet has kind of played extremely well for this team. But heading into the playoffs, guys, this team has issues. They do. And look, although I'm so confident that this Knicks team will ultimately pull through against the Detroit Pistons in the first round, there are still things to clean up. You would be lying to yourself if you were to think that there was this Knicks team doesn't have things to clean up. They do. They have things to clean up. And you have now a week or so to get things cleaned up. This is why these Knicks starters were playing. They can't afford to take these games off simply due to the fact that they're struggling right now. And they need to get it together in the playoffs, especially in the first round with a hungry Detroit Pistons team who has proven that they are physical, play hard, and are not afraid of you. So, yeah, this Knicks team has some issues. They do. And we just have to come together as Knicks fans and try to figure this out. Because this is it. This is it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let me tweet this out really quick on the Knicks Nation page. Man, oh, man. Appreciate you guys in the chat once again. Knicks lose 102-108 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Eddie says, clean up in a week. Too late. I hope they do. Isaiah says, you see an Ant. If it was early in the season, I wouldn't be so worried, but we are one game away from the playoffs, man. Something is not right with this team. Marshone says, bad loss. Bad loss, man. Bad loss. Look, Cleveland, I know they're with Garland, Mobley, Allen, Strus, and Darius Garland could not be stopped in that fourth quarter. He could not be stopped in the fourth quarter. Hit timely shots. Dean Wade really didn't give him anything. Max Strus gave them everything. Was being left open. 19 points, 5 of 12 from 3, 3 assists, 5 rebounds from Max Strus. Just open clutch shots in that fourth quarter. Isaac Okoro is 3 for 3 tonight from 3. 3 for 3. Isaac Okoro, by the way. Big Taz says the Pistons tanked to face the Knicks. I'm sure they did, man. They won us. Bring it on, Detroit. Honestly, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Stanley says, what's going on, Stanley? Chris says Cam just runs around and chucks up shots. That's from Chris Connor in the chat. John says Knicks missing Hart without iHeart and Devo and teams. No PJ Tucker tonight. I thought, he played great yesterday. Look, it was a back-to-back. Maybe they're giving him the back-to-back. But look, Landry Shamet was awesome for this basketball club tonight. Deuce was pretty good off the bench. Campaign gave this team absolutely nothing. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be a talking point heading into the playoffs. Game 1, round 1. Would you play Campaign off the bench? Because the seat is starting to warm up a little bit for Campaign. I see it in a lot of Knicks fans' tweets. I see it in the chat. A lot of Knicks fans don't want this guy to play because he's been struggling. 0-5 tonight, 0-1 from 3. Just gave them absolutely nothing. 1 steal. That's it from Campaign. 12 minutes of cardio out there for Campaign. And it's going to have to have the coaching staff is going to have a serious discussion because you have bodies on the bench who can play. You do now. You have DeLon Wright. You have PJ Tucker. These guys can play. I know Campaign is a point guard who can kind of run the show a little bit, but if he's not running the show a little bit, then he needs to be running back to the bench. That's what he needs to be doing. And I like Campaign. But against the Pistons, I don't know. Man, oh, man. Vibes. Bro, today's my B-day. All I wanted was a win. Happy birthday, Vibes. Happy birthday to Vibes in the chat. Appreciate you rocking me on your birthday, Vibes. Hope you had a great day. Unfortunately, the Knicks couldn't pull it out. But Stanley says Campaign is a G League player. We need more Wright or anyone else. Vibe says I'm sick of watching us play like this. Tony says we are playing bad basketball and we don't know why. Some say it's our defense. Some say it's the bench. Some say it's the coach. Fix it and perform like a top 3 team in the league. You got to get it done. Yvette says, I'm really worried about the Knicks. I don't even know if this Knicks team will be able to pass the Pistons. All right, so Knicks Pistons first round. It's probably going to start April 19th or April 20th. Pistons wanted this matchup. They sent a message yesterday, and it was delivered. That they are coming, they are hungry, they are young, and they are really well coached. And they're a great up-and-coming team. The turnaround that they have had has been remarkable. So now the Knicks go into a playoff series against the Detroit Pistons, and, you know, it's one of those fascinating series that over this next week, you're going to hear a lot of media, a lot of Knicks fans, everyone pick against the Knicks, everyone pick the Pistons because they are the talk of the town. They're the sexy name to pick against us. And quite frankly, I would not blame anyone to do that. I wouldn't, because this Knicks team has been super inconsistent. They are super talented. They are led by their leader in Jalen Brunson, and the Pistons are 3-1 against us in the regular season. Now, that mostly doesn't correlate to the playoffs. Me personally, I think the Knicks could beat the Pistons in 5. And nights like tonight had me like thinking about that. And I don't know what to feel. Like I'm like second guessing my prediction. And I don't like that. Because coming into this season, we already chalked the Knicks up for a first round win, right? We already did that. And now it's seemingly like we're like second guessing ourselves, questioning it. I still do think they're going to beat this Pistons team, but I'm telling you right now, if you guys think it's going to be an easy series, I at first I thought it was an easy series. I don't know how I can think like that anymore. I don't know how I can think like that, especially the way this Knicks team is playing. Look, they could be fooling all of us right now. These games don't matter. They're fooling around, messing around. No Cat tonight. OG hard out yesterday. I mean, the rotation isn't really structured the way you want it to be. I mean, I really don't even know the rotation. Like, does he play Payne? Does he play Tucker against the Pistons because he plays so well? You got to play Shamet now because he's been awesome. Precious not going to play. Mitch is definitely going to play. Hart is going to play a lot. And I don't even think he should play a lot. Like, I don't know what to feel. But this is going to be a dogfight. I think Knicks Pistons will be a dogfight. And I'm still confident, guys. I still am. This is going to be a really intriguing series. I still do think the Knicks can get it done in 5. And look, Knicks got home court. Pistons are tough, though. Pistons are coming. They're coming. And they're playing well. And they play well against us. But as long as we got number 11, I think this Knicks team has a shot against them. And they better. They better. So, Knicks Pistons first round, it's official. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. Crimes Dad says, who wants a new coach? Do a poll. Crimes Dad, I'm not going to do that poll tonight, man. Appreciate you in here. El Figa says, JB Bickerstaff can outcoach the Knicks. The only way we win is if the players rise above the bad coaching. 2 years ago, Tom Thibodeau outcoached JB Bickerstaff, El Figa. And I know 2 different teams, but he's a perfect coach for that team. He is. Perfect coach for that team, and the turnaround has been incredible. But now it's when you prepare. It's when you prepare. Because I'm telling you right now, if you think it's just going to be, if you think the Pistons are just going to lay down and just let us beat them, it's not going to happen. I mean, they have Dennis Schroeder playing well for them. Cade is obviously a stud. You know, they got Stewart who plays tough. You know, Hardaway Jr. can shoot the lights out. I mean, they got a squad over there. But still, this Knicks team is super talented and should be able to overcome all of that. They should. Will they? I was really confident before, but like nights like tonight when they lose and the Cleveland Cavaliers dropped 30 in the fourth quarter and the Knicks only dropped 16, and in the third quarter again, the Knicks look like absolute garbage. You're like, what is going on? Like, what is this, the real Knicks team? I don't know. We're going to find out soon. Quick. Marcel says if we beat them, it will go 7. Wilner says Knicks is soft. Man, oh man. Chris says Jaden Ivey, can't forget him. Yeah, we'll see if he plays, but he's doing basketball activities, but I don't know if he'll play. I don't think he'll play. Carl, what's going on, Carl? Appreciate you in the chat. It's a fascinating situation. I agree. We look awful since the All-Star game, but remember the playoffs are a completely different animal, meaning that your focus is entirely on one team at a time. Well said, Carl. One team at a time, one game at a time. Each game is its own chapter. It is a 7-game series, one game at a time. You have to have short-term memory. I mean, you can't. I know the Knicks are probably going to be favored in that series from Vegas, probably going to be favored as they should. But Detroit ain't afraid, man. There's a part of me that, there's like a little slither of me who thinks there's a chance for the Knicks to get upset in this series. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to think like that. I'm not predicting that. But there's a little slither in me that says, like, hey, if everything goes right in Detroit's way, it could happen. I'm not predicting it, but Knicks got stuff. They got stuff to clean up, man. They definitely have stuff to clean up. I mean, you're 0-8 against the Celtics and the Cavs. You want to throw the Thunder in there, you're 0 for 10. You want to throw the Lakers in there, you're 0 for 12. It's crazy. Crazy. The narrative continues that the Knicks can't beat the elite. Walk Clyde Frazier before the game. His key to the game was simply beat the elite. Walk Clyde Frazier said that. Let's see if I have the graphic. Here it is. Clyde's key to the game, beat the elite. The Knicks did not beat the elite. They're not beating the elite. What's the temperature, guys? How we feeling, man? I like to get the temperature in the room. I like to get how you guys are feeling in the chat. What's the temperature? I'm still confident in this group. I'm still confident. Positive Ant is still here. Man, oh, man. El Figgy says, man, I'm feeling the loss of Hartenstein and Dante right now. We're totally different beasts than last year. We'll see. We'll see. And now, if it's the same song and dance in the playoffs, yeah, we can definitely say that. Steve says, in my opinion, we were trying to lose, and when Pacers lost, all of a sudden we changed and try to win the game. Chill out. So Steve is saying the Knicks were trying to lose tonight. And all of a sudden, when the Pacers lost, we changed and try to win. I don't know, Steve. I don't know if that's how, I don't know if the guys looked at the scoreboard and all of a sudden said that, oh, look, Pacers lost, let's try to win. I don't know if it works like that. I don't know. Crimes Dad says, who do you think the Knicks are sure to beat in the NBA playoffs? I'm still predicting them to beat the Detroit Pistons in the first round, Crimes Dad. I am. I think they could beat Detroit. I think they could beat Milwaukee, but the way Giannis is playing right now is insane. They haven't shown us that they can beat the Celtics. They haven't shown us that they can beat the Cavs. It's one of those scenarios where you're going into the playoffs just hoping. Like, you hope that the correlation in the regular season doesn't correlate to the playoffs. You hope that it's a different league. You hope that the Pistons are shook and it's the first time in the NBA playoffs and, the lights are too bright for Detroit. But I mean, we just have to wait and see. Game 1 will tell that, right? But this team is too talented to be, especially losing games like tonight, just letting it slip in the fourth. Shot 39% from three, 16 to 41, 14 to 20 from the free throw line, man. 6 missed free throws, out-rebounded 49 to 35. Big Mitch was actually dominating this game in the first half and dominating Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. So his run continues, but still 52 points in the paint. That is with Big Mitch. And how many minutes did Mitch play tonight? I don't think he played that much. Oh, 33 minutes for Big Mitch. They're ramping him up. So, Cavs had a lot of points in the paint tonight with Big Mitch. I mean, they're a tough team. This is why they're number one in the East. This is why people are picking them to go to the NBA Finals. And the Knicks just can't beat them. Can't. Man. Marzone says, gotta start Mitch to control Duren. Oh, man. Easy on him TV says, this is the Thibs problem. Marzone says, Bridges and losing iHeart and Dante, we lost grit. Eddie says, Shamet kept us in this game. Shout out to Landry Shamet, man. Any positive you want to take is Landry Shamet is providing such a boost for this team off the bench that we just have been waiting for and missing for the majority of the season. And lately he has been playing incredible basketball for this New York Knicks team. Incredible basketball for this Knicks team. And that is a positive that this Knicks team can take to the playoffs, go to him off the bench, and we just have Shamet in the rotation where he's in his spots and comfortable shooting his threes. He just looks comfortable out there. He's healthy. He looks good. He looks great. So the three off the bench right now for me, guys, is Shamet, Deuce, and Mitch. Campaign is on notice. Campaign is on notice. How can he not be? Campaign is on notice, man. Missing layups. Come on, man. Can't happen in the playoffs. Campaign does have experience, so that's going for him. But if he doesn't show up in the playoffs, man, you can put PJ Tucker out there. Put DeLon Wright out there. I don't want to see Campaign struggling and Tom Thibodeau continuing to go to him game by game by game by game just because he's Campaign. I don't want that. It's all hands on deck. And we've already seen PJ Tucker balled out against not balled out, but he played really well against the Detroit Pistons. Precious played well against the Pistons. DeLon Wright has shown you what he can do in these last couple of weeks. So Campaign, I don't think he needs to be in a rotation. I don't. El Figgy says, what happened to Deuce in the second half? Yeah, I mean, how many minutes did he play? He played 18 minutes tonight. He played 18 minutes. I'm trying to pull up his second half minutes for you. It's a back-to-back, too. And he's coming off an injury. Like, he's coming off a strained. Yeah, he played 8 minutes in the second half, 0-3. I mean, it's a back-to-back. He's coming off an injury. I guess if you want to pull up the excuse card, but didn't really attempt that many shots tonight. And he was minus 13. He plays really well with Brunson. And, Josh Hart, 34 minutes, 3 of 6, only attempted 6 shots, hit 2 of his threes, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Josh Hart is a name that I'm going to be circling in the playoffs too, because teams continue to leave him open. He hit 2 threes tonight, which is great. But you even had a comment from Mike Breen. Josh Hart got to shoot that. So this next coaching staff has their work cut out for them. They do. Because it is game 81, and we are sitting here on April 11th, and the Knicks have issues. I believe they have they have to look themselves in the mirror right now. They do. These third quarters cannot happen. They cannot. And I don't want to just magnify. I don't want to sit here and nitpick these games because they really don't matter. So it's hard to judge. But I'm only judging it by the way they're looking on the basket. They look like they wanted to win this game, right? So we have to judge it based off of that. Brunson was in late. Anunoby was in late. The guys were in late. Guys were playing. So it's not like, they were taking this game. They wanted the monkey off to the back. They wanted at least get a win against one of these elite teams. They wanted this win. And late in the game, fell apart. Fell apart. Crimes Ass says we had no cat, but I'm a cat fan. Chris says no choice, but they play Tucker to try to challenge Duren. Yeah. John says, remember last year we got beat up by Embiid and Philly and we were dead man walking versus the Indiana series. What if the Pistons beat us up in 7-game series before the Celtics? I would have preferred the Bucks. Same here. I would have preferred the Bucks too, but you get the Pistons now. It is official. Knicks Pistons, for those that don't know. It is Knicks Pistons in the first round. It's either going to start April 20th or April 19th. So, I'll make my predictions throughout the week. We'll do podcasts on it, the keys to the series and everything. The X factors, all that stuff is coming. But right now, my just prediction off of the dome is I believe that the Knicks will win the series, and I'm picking them in 5 games. I am. That's my prediction as of this moment. Got to dig into the numbers. Got to dig into Detroit and the whole 9 and see how things unfold and see how the week unfolds. But it's playoff time. It's buckle up time. This is when Jalen Brunson hits another gear. This is when he shines at his brightest, right? And I'm just excited to watch Brunson play in the playoffs again. I'm excited to watch the Knicks play in the playoffs again. But I'll be lying to you guys if I say I wasn't a little nervous, but I've been saying it many times. If this Knicks team were to lose in the first round, that would be a catastrophic failure. Be prepared to hear that for the next week. You're going to have a lot of people pick the Pistons. A lot. That would be a catastrophic failure if the Knicks lose to the Pistons in the first round. Baga says the good thing is if we lose in the first round, Thibs is gone. I can guarantee that. Of course. But I don't want to think like that yet. I don't want to think like that. I want to go into this. It's like such a weird season, man. It's like I'm trying to enjoy it, right? Another 50-win season. Knicks are back in the playoffs. And usually I'm excited, more excited at this point of the season. I'm excited, don't get me wrong. But usually I'm more excited, and now it's just like, I guess it's because we already seem like we know the outcome. And that's like haunting me. I don't want to think like that. Like I don't want to. It's like we already know the outcome of what's going to happen. Like we're the 3rd seed. If we get past the Pistons, we get the Celtics in the second round. Then we already know what's gonna happen. Then it's probably bye-bye. But I'm trying to get to a point where I really give myself hope and don't foresee that happening. But I'll be lying to you guys if I'm being honest. I'll be lying to you guys if I'm excited, don't get me wrong, but it's just been a roller coaster of a season, and this Knicks team is just, it's so hard to pinpoint like what's the issue on any given game. Like where is this elite offense that we saw earlier on this season? Like where's the Jalen Carly Town pick and roll stuff? Is it just simply due to the fact that the teams are throwing centers at Josh Hart? They're not respecting him anymore. Like this Knicks offense used to be elite. Like this Knicks offense, nobody can stop this team. Like nobody. And now it's at a point where they're struggling. They're struggling. Wayne says before I said Knicks in 5, now maybe 6. Yeah, there you go, Wayne. Like I said Knicks in 5. I could extend it a game. Over this next week, I could say Knicks in 6. I could extend it. It could go 6 games. I hope not, because you want to get out of the first round as soon as possible. But hey, man, it's going to be a fascinating series. Honestly, it is. Yeah, Chris, Celtics second round. Darian says, would you rather lose in the first round or get swept in the second round? I want to win a round, Darian. I don't want to lose in the first round. I don't want to lose to the Pistons in the first round. That'll be a failure. That'll mean you traded everything you did this past summer was for nothing. Like, honestly, was for nothing. A year, like 50 wins, great. But if you lose in the first round, I mean, like, I don't care about the 50 wins. Like, I don't. Like, none of that matters anymore. Like, all of that for the Mikal trade, the Cat trade, like, what? Just to get bounced in the first round? But I'm not foreseeing that. So I would obviously advance to the second round. And look, you know how it's gonna end. At least you think you know how it's gonna end. I shouldn't say There's always a chance, man. There's always a chance. So the second round's gonna be tough, but hey, give them a fight. What if somebody goes down again for Boston? What if Jaylen Brown goes down with his knee, or Porzingis, or somebody? You never know. You never know. John says, can Boston versus Orlando go 7 games and KP and Brown fall in those series? It's possible. This is why you play your games, right? This is why you play your games. I mean, the Atlanta Hawks a couple of years ago, no one foresee them getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, and here they were. There they were. No one foresaw the Miami Heat getting to the NBA Finals. There they were. So you're in the dance. Now you got to dance. You're in the dance. Now you got to dance. Show us what you got. Knicks brand basketball, and it's the rotations which are, I don't know where Tibbs goes. I don't. Does he go Tucker? Does he go Wright? I don't know. But you're in the dance. You got a chance. Everyone that's in the dance, you got a chance. Anything is possible. Like Kevin Garnett said, anything is possible. Now, I'm not giving us a big chance, but, we'll reach that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But right now, we have to focus on the Detroit Pistons in round 1. So that's our main focus. That's our main focus. Wayne says need more points off turnovers like we were doing early in the season. Chris says they already whooped us without Porzingis. Hit him up, says, yo, Ant, don't have any shame. You always giving Knicks a pass. They soft, man. Yeah, hit him up. I try to revert from saying that, but, I mean, it is what it is. Which is why I love P.J. Tucker playing against the Pistons. Knicks are playing, they've been playing soft all year. Like, they've been playing soft all year. In my opinion, P.J. Tucker needs to play versus the Pistons. Just that energy that he brought in Detroit. Like, I love that stuff, man. I do. And, Campaign needs to have a short leash. He does. Shamit's going to play. Your starters are going to play. Dib's got to figure out the Hart minutes. Like, if he's not providing anything offensively, I don't need to see Josh Hart 48 minutes. That's too many minutes out there. So it's up to the coach. It's up to the coach and his rotations. I think the Knicks have the talent. They have the talent. They just have to come together as a group, come together as a unit. Just put it all together, man. It's the frustrating part. I mean, a lineup of Cat, Brunson, Anunoby, Bridges. Like, come on, man. That's a talented team. Super talented. Super talented. Isaiah says, why are Mikal and OG shrinking again, man? This is a serious problem. Is this on Thibs or JB, man? I don't know anymore. Yeah, El Figgy says OG hasn't been the same since JB has been back, and I was concerned about that. I don't know why Mikal and OG have shrunk back. They're missing wide open threes when we're hitting contested shots before. Yeah, great. It's something I worry about, guys. It's something I worry about. And it'll be 15 points, 6 of 18. And I wouldn't even say that it was an inefficient night, even though it was. A lot of these shots from Anunoby, he was getting tossed a grenade late in the shot clock tonight, and he just had to put it up. And you're sitting there like, what the heck was that? Like, he wanted the ball multiple times within a possession, and he would get the ball late in the play in the shot clock, and it would be all she wrote. Bridges 1 of 5. That's a talking point going into the playoffs, man. It is. It's only one basketball, guys. It's only one basketball, and Jalen Brunson commands so much within this offense, right? He's going to take his shots. He's going to take, in the playoffs, 20, up to 20 shots, maybe even more, right? And it's all about balance with this team. It's all about balance. I mean, this can't happen right here. 0-10 from Payne and Achua off the bench. Make the adjustment, Tom Thibodeau. In-game adjustment. Achua was great yesterday. Payne hasn't been. So why do you keep going back to him? Adjustment. But yeah, the OG Mikal Brunson thing, I keep going back to early on in the year. And like, what changed? What changed? This Knicks offense was running on all cylinders. And now it's not. And look, 27 points from Brunson, but you don't like this. 2 assists. Right? And Mikal is consistently great in terms of distributing the basketball. 8 assists from Mikal Bridges, only 2 from your point guard. So it lies on JB, and it lies on Brunson. Brunson has to take it upon himself to get those guys involved, get them in great spots, get them in rhythm. Like, that's the job of the point guard. And look, Brunson's amazing. Like, we know playoff Brunson is amazing. But OG is also amazing. Right? He was looking like a superstar. And look, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a good game. But, I don't know. Isaiah says this team has talent, but it looks like they have no idea on how to gel it together. That's part of the coaching. That's part of the coaching. That's part of that. So that they got to get it together, man. The team has talent, tons of talent. Whether it's putting someone back on the bench, switching to starting 5, putting Josh Hart back on the bench, putting in Mitchell Robinson alongside Karl-Anthony Towns, something. Like, if you want to shake things up in the starting lineup, that's how you do it. You start Mitch with Cat, see how it goes. Now, against the Pistons, I don't believe you need to do that. But if you want to kind of inject some type of life back into the starting lineup and get things going again, it should be on the table. Everything should be on the table. Yeah, I think Mikal's going to play like 1 minute, 2 minutes in the next game and then be pulled out. So El Figgy says, being talented on paper is meaningless. Look at Phoenix on paper. Durant, Booker, and Beal shouldn't be eliminated from the playoffs a week before the end of the season. Yet here we are. Terrible situation in Phoenix. Beal is a shell of himself. Yeah, they're in a situation where they don't have any talent around them. They just have Beal and they just have Durant and Booker. Beal is talented. They got obviously the rookie and Ryan Dunn and whatnot, but it didn't work for them. Wayne says, I love Towns and Robinson starting on the floor. It's an option, man. I mean, you gotta throw like, I don't think you need to do that versus the Pistons. I don't. I think if you have all hands on deck versus Detroit, I think you should be good as is. But I'm saying if you're in a pinch, if you go down 0-1, if you go down 0-2, it has to be on the table. Everything has to be on the table. You can't just keep being stubborn over and over and over again and hoping things will change. It's not going to work. It's a 7-game series. Each game is so important. It's not like the regular season where you can give things a game. You can give a lineup change like 10, 15 games just to switch it again. So Thibs has to be open to adjust. And look, you're already seeing it in the national media. You're already seeing it in the post games. You're already seeing it in the chat. Thibs, the seat is starting to, starting to warm up a little bit. But this Knicks team should be able to beat the Detroit Pistons. If they don't, it's a failure, guys. It's a failure. Isaiah says, I love Brunson, but he doesn't dish the ball to Mikal and OG. Then why did we trade for them, man? I'm getting sick of the shrinking again. Look, JB is the head honcho. He's the leader. He's the floor general out there. And it's his job to get those guys comfortable and in their spots to have great games. And in the playoffs, things shrink. The moments become bigger and bigger. So it's going to be magnified. It is. But OG has been so good for us. And yes, when you take away Brunson, look, he had 17. When you take away that many shots, obviously OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are going to, excel. But when you put Brunson back in and when you kind of tinker with the lineups here and there, I just think there's a lot going on too, guys. Let's be fair, because no Cat tonight. So you started Mitch again, and you really, although Mitch was awesome in the first half, no OG yesterday. And it's like a lot of like tinkering with the lineups, a lot of people in and out the lineups. So you don't want to like overanalyze these games too much. But in the playoffs, you're going to have your starting five, and we just have to react based on what we see in the playoffs in game one. And I just think a lot of moving parts are happening right now because it's the end of the season and you just want these guys to be healthy. Now, if these guys are performing the same in the playoffs, if, Anunoby's getting shut out in the playoff, then yes, that is a problem. That is an issue. And we've seen it in the regular season. So most of you right now are saying, we're just going to see the same thing in the playoffs. Could be true. But I think they'll figure it out. I think they will. JB is too smart. Darian says JB tries to do too much. 2 assists from a main star is ridiculous. Put Hart on the second team when he's out there. It is 4 against 5 offensively. Look, man, I've been asking to have Josh Hart on the bench for a while now. I've been wanting to see this Mitchell Robinson, Karl Anthony Towns pairing, or even Deuce. Like, I wouldn't hate Deuce McBride starting. I wouldn't. Great three-point shooter, not afraid to shoot it, great defender. I would not hate that either. This way you have Hart off the bench, kind of like that Swiss Army knife doing everything. You don't have to rely on him so much. It's 4, like you said. I mean, it's 4 or 5. Teams are throwing Hart out there. They're not respecting him. They're not. And look, Hart does so much for us defensively, offensively. I mean, he leads the league in loose ball recovers. I mean, he's the heart and soul of this team, right? He's the glue. So if you take away the glue at the starting lineup this late in the season, I mean, I remember listening to the Alan Hahn show a couple of weeks ago, and he said that Josh Hart was kind of like annoyed at the fact that when Mitchell Robinson was coming back, a lot of people were just automatically putting Josh Hart on the bench. Alan Hahn said Josh Hart didn't like that. He said Josh Hart was starting to get annoyed at that talk. So we all thought Hart didn't mind coming in off the bench, but those are the words from somebody who's close to the team. He said Hart was getting annoyed at that talk. Hart is stubborn. Thibs is stubborn, which is why you saw them clash in Golden State. So, but Josh Hart does a lot of things great for us, guys. He does. Man, oh man. John says, remember our bench is one of the lowest paid. Starters got to produce. Mikal and OG played really well together. Loud and Clear says, looking for Cat to change the narrative that he's great in the regular season but disappears in the playoffs. Looking for Mikal to earn an extension through the offseason. His playoff play will determine that. Of course. His playoff play will determine his extension. Cat needs to change that narrative. Cat has had great playoff games last year. We all remember him versus Jokic. He was awesome. So need to see the moments like that in the playoffs. This is when you put your big boy pants on. This is when, a lot of Knicks fans were looking forward to these moments. All right, season's over. Now what you got in the playoffs? Show us what you got in the playoffs. Show us why you traded Julius and Dante. Show us why you traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal. Why? Show us. And I believe. I do. I don't want to go down the negative path yet because we're not there yet, but we will if we get there. But I believe. Mikal's been to a finals. Cat's been playing in big moments. Brunson's been to a Western Conference Finals. These guys have been there, done that. These guys have blood in the ground, as they say. I think I stole that from Chris Candy. Blood in the ground. And now is time for the playoffs. Let's go. Let's go. QR says C-Pain Wild Man. Man, oh man. El Figgy says we had no Cat, so they had no Donovan Mitchell. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Look, tonight's game stunk, man. Third quarter stunk again. And if there's anything to be concerned about, it's the third quarters. Right? It's the third quarters. Third quarters of doom. Trying to see what's going on the timeline. Trying to get a temperature. Somebody tweeted the New York Knicks. All right. Here's JB. Let's go to JB. See what JB got to say. Jalen Brunson was asked what specifically the Knicks need to fix after Tom Thibodeau's postgame comments. What did Tom Thibodeau say? We're getting comments. We've got to be honest with ourselves. They got up 23 and you have to play 48 minutes in the league. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. All 2 versus OKC, all 4 versus the Cavs, all 4 versus Celtics. It's crazy, man. This Knicks team can't beat good teams, man. It's crazy. I'm trying to see the comments that Tom Thibodeau said.
You guys go for it on Sunday? Said we have to fix it. We have to fix it fast. What is the it he's talking about? Everything that you guys see and we see. We got to fix that.
Everything that you guys see and we see, we've got to fix that. That's from JB. Josh Hart, I'm always confident in this group. Tom Thibodeau asked for the next starter to play. We'll deal with that Sunday.
Yeah, we know who the opponent is, and we know they're good, and we're going to have to be prepared for them.
Okay.
Yeah, got up 23, and, you got to play for 48 minutes in this league. No lead is safe.
How do you keep the spirits high after this?
Well, we just got to be honest with ourselves, look at what we did wrong, and we got to get fixed, and we got to get it fixed fast.
What needs to be fixed?
Everything. Yeah, you got to play. So, both sides of the ball.
D Black with the super chat. Appreciate you, D Black with the super chat. Thank you for the support. Hart should shoot and just let Mitch clean up if he misses. Love the content here. Glad to have found your space. I don't fear the gears. Knicks in 5. Let's go, D Black. Knicks in 5. Appreciate you, D Black, with the super chat. Thank you for the support. Thank you for rocking with us on this Knicks Nation post-game / Knicks Pistons preview. But Tom Thibodeau seems angry, guys. He seems upset. We've got to be honest with ourselves, look at what we did wrong. We've got to get it fixed, and we've got to get it fixed fast. Everything. Everything needs to be fixed. You are a week left from the playoffs, and Tom Thibodeau is saying everything needs to be fixed. That doesn't give you any confidence. That doesn't give you any confidence. We got to play 48 minutes. That doesn't give you any confidence. That is from your head coach. He is sending a message to that locker room that these guys need to get it together fast. Otherwise, Dibs is feeling it, guys. I'm telling you. Dibs is feeling it. But Thibodeau is having some strong comments in the locker room and saying these guys need to get it together and get it together fast. Got to play 48 minutes. Otherwise, you're going to have so many narratives come out. Have the Knicks quit on Tom Thibodeau. This and that. I mean, you don't really want to hear that right now. You don't. You know, is this Knicks team quitting on their coach? Are they done with Tom Thibodeau? Ever since the Mikal Bridges comments, this Knicks team, this and that, this and that, this and that. If they lose to the first round versus the Pistons, I mean, you're going to hear it all, as you should. But I got confidence in this group that they will figure it out. They will figure it out fast. They got, Sunday. I would say rest the guys, but I need a butt kicking, man. I need to feel good. Like I know it's the Nets and they stink and they're trying to tank for Cooper Flag, but I need to feel good. Because you're 0 of 8 against the Cavs, Celtics, the top two teams in the Eastern Conference, and you're heading into a first-round matchup against the Detroit Pistons that it's not going to be a pushover. It's not. The more I think of it, it's not. It's not. I got to respect Detroit. I do. I know they don't have playoff experience, and that's one thing the Knicks have over them. But they got dogs. El Figgy says, I'm going to muster up some strength and faith and put my heart into this team like I always do. I want to believe in playoff Jalen. I believe in playoff OG. I believe in playoff Josh. I believe in playoff Cat. Let's go, Knicks. Love the enthusiasm. That's how we got to be. Tony says Coach Thibs basically saying he doesn't know how to coach his team to get past the first round. Oh, man. I didn't think these comments would be that strong. But after a game that really essentially, quote unquote, didn't matter in the standings, but the way this Knicks team is looking right now, especially in these third quarters, look, Thibs has to say we got to fix everything. We got to play 48 minutes. I mean, look, I could point the fingers to the players. Everyone has to be of blame. Everyone. Everyone has to be on blame here. It's not just the players, coaching staff, everyone. Right? I don't like the way I'm feeling right now. I don't. Like, it's weird, man. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Usually this time of year, I'm hype. I'm like, yeah, Knicks playoffs. Can't wait. It was like that a little bit yesterday when the Knicks were winning and the crowd was involved. The crowd was crazy. Obviously, I'm gonna get myself hyped up. I'm gonna get myself worked up for Game 1. But this team has a lot of things to fix, a lot of things to go over, and the playoffs start next week. It's the weirdest season. Like 50, you're gonna win 51 games. You can't beat elite teams, and you're healthy going into the playoffs. Knock on wood, and your coaching staff on April 11th, a little over a week before the playoffs, is saying everything needs to be fixed. Both sides of the ball. That is what's going on in Knicksland currently. I mean, come on. Woody says, let's do trade talks. Woody, we got a whole summer, man. Whole summer. Tony says the main question is, why are we not performing in the second halves? It's a great question. It's a great question. Knicks have had some great third quarters this season. They have. But if you take if you kind of zoom out a little bit, third quarters, I mean, it's the adjustments going into halftime. Like, what are they doing? That's adjustments. That's your opponent adjusting in the second half, and you not. I mean, how else can I look at that? How else can I look at that? Your opponent is adjusting at halftime, and you're not. And this Knicks team is coming out flat. They just need a boost. They need an energy. I don't know. Maybe get Tracy Morgan giving halftime speeches. I mean, maybe you need something. You need to switch it up. Yeah, maybe get a comedian in there. Maybe get a I don't know, a circus. I don't know. You gotta bring up the energy. You gotta bring up the energy again. Because I'm seeing Jalen Brunson in his hoodie with his hood on right now, and he's like looking like pissed off as he should because he can't beat elite teams, and I don't like it, man. You gotta pick up the energy here. This Rover says we need Dante back. Tony says we were up versus Celtics first half, up versus the Pistons first half, versus the Cavs tonight first half. Yeah, man. Say Queasy in the post-game call-in. Let's get to Say Queasy. Those of you in the chat, you can call into the Discord. Let's get to Say Queasy. Give me a second. Say Queasy. You there? Say Queasy. Have some technical difficulties here. Let me get out and come back in. Say Queasy, you there? Damn, I don't know what's going on. Hold on, Iron. Let's get to you, Iron. Can you hear me, Iron?
I got you, homie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got
good?
you. I got you. We good. What's going on, Iron?
Yo, shout out to the crew, to the chat. One of the most intellectual chats that's out there for sure. But I had to get out the Bears then and talk about this real quick, man. Like, it ain't looking too good, homie. But I was, listening to the chat, hearing the feedback, and there's some things that stood out to me. I think we really should consider starting Mitch at the 5, especially against Detroit. Because I'm not going to take credit for it. Someone in the chat said, when we start hard, it's like 4-on-5 on offense. If that's going to be the case, I'd rather have Big Mitch out there getting us offensive boards and being a physical presence. And I don't know about you guys, but Precious, PJ, Hart, McBride, and call me crazy, but I would love to see DeLon right at point rather than campaign coming off bench, because at least that bench is a solid lockdown bench. If our bench ain't gonna give us buckets, at least let's not let them get buckets. You know what I mean? Keep it tight, keep it fresh, and this way we can keep the energy going. I don't know. What do you think?
I agree. I would like to see DeLon Wright more out there. I would, Campaign has been struggling, and he's been obviously a talking point in the chat. And look, he's been struggling, and Campaign can provide obviously a spark and whatnot. But yes, in the playoffs, it's all hands on deck. I mean, maybe you have to throw in Mitch. Maybe you have to bench a Josh, or maybe you start a Deuce McBride. You have, no one can. It's the playoffs, man. It's. You lose 4, you're out, right? So
exactly. You
got to do whatever it takes to win. And the Pistons are tough. They're scrappy. I wouldn't even mind to see PJ Tucker again out there. I wouldn't.
I was just, you beat me to the punch. I was about to say, when you're going up against guys like Duran and Isaiah Stewart, you need a little muscle out there. You need a little Charles Oakley out there. That might be a little, I might be aging myself a little bit, but you need a little bit of that go get him out there. And I think, I know Tibbs is in the doghouse right now, but I believe he's a good coach. He's just rigid. He's in that Pat Riley, Jeff Van Gundy vibe where he don't trust the young players and he sticks with what he knows. But when it comes to planning, that's what I mentioned in, early in the chat that, the playoffs are different because you can just focus on a team. When it comes to strategizing and planning, he's on an elite level. I really do believe that. And if he just would just trust his guys more and not lean in on his starters so much and just trust the bench, maybe you can get a little more production. I'm not going to act like our bench is, top tier, but they're serviceable. You know what I mean? And if you just, give these kids some confidence and some of the vets who, like PJ signed when a lot of teams wanted him. You know what I'm saying? Because he felt that energy, like,
Yep.
that New York energy. You got to come with heart if you're going to play in the Garden. You know what I mean? Like, you really got to come with, your big boy drawers on.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
one last point, because I know we got a few more callers in. I love JB. I love him to death. He is our leader. He's the anchor. But, bruh, it's The Rock. Please, when you trust your players, because it's not a coincidence that Mikhail and OG and a lot of the bench players were shining more when he was down. Not to say he's a detriment to the team, but sometimes I feel like he tries to do too much. Like, don't play hero ball. Play basketball. It's 5-on-5. You feel?
Love that. Love that. Love that. Appreciate the call, Aaron. Appreciate the call.
Yo, shout out to the chat. Blessings to everybody. Enjoy the weekend.
Likewise. Shout out to you, Aaron. Great call from Aaron. Say Queasy. Is your mic okay now?
Okay, there it goes. It's
There-
back.
there we go,
I
there we
had to close the app. I'm like, hello, check one. No response.
Yeah. Well, we
But
got
I'm
you
back,
now. What's
but-
going on, Say Queasy? How are you?
Today looked like a tank job, man. It really did look like the Knicks was trying to get that 4th seed if Pacers didn't tank themselves. But right now, I'm in playoff mode. I don't even care about Sunday game. Right now, they better rest everybody. Like, if you gonna play Brunson in them, they should play 10 minutes. I don't want them out there for too long. I'd rather see Shamet, McBride, and all of them get some shots up, just to give them confidence going in. Because Shamet right now been playing good. Even Deuce from that injury, he been making his shots. Robinson had a good game, so I believe. Well, you could keep Robinson. I don't think you should play him. But right now, I'm in playoff mode. It's money time. Like, once playoffs start, that's when all the heat about to start. Bridges, Cat,
Yep.
OG, they got to step up. Brunson, you got to step up too. It can't be hero ball, like the last caller said. It can't be that all the time. Because the one thing I'm noticing about this team, out of the whole season, we blow a lot of leads.
Yep.
Like ending the second quarter or going to the third, that's when we start blowing the lead. No matter what team we play, Detroit, Cavs, Boston, whatever. We end up blowing leads. Some games we blew leads, like even the Sixers. We blew leads, but we won those games because those teams didn't have their main star or didn't have a star power to help them. But we blow a lot of leads. And another thing I got concerned is if a team get hot and start off hot, like in the first quarter, say Detroit come out hot out of nowhere, it's like 15-2. Will we come back? Because we haven't seen a lot of comebacks where we actually win. We've seen a lot of fake comebacks where the team will come back, but we won't win that game, no. But that's all I really got to say, though.
Appreciate the call, Say Queasy. Yeah, I mean, it's go time. It's go time. And, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, like Tom Thibodeau just said in the postgame, a lot of things have to change. And, yeah, like Aaron said, JB can't continue to play hero ball. I mean, you got guys now that you can trust. We've seen it. You have PJ Tucker. You have DeLon Wright. OG can do his thing. Mikal can do his thing. So the ball just has to move. That is when this Knicks team is at their best. Their record when they hit 30 and more assists a game is, I believe, they're like 20 games over 5, like something crazy. So, yeah, you got to move the ball. You got to move the ball. That is when this offense is at their best. And right now, a week left, man, to the playoffs. A week left. Yuri, what's going on? What you got?
Yeah, I had to cool down before I joined this call. I'm letting you know right now. I kind of was heated. I wasn't in the chat. I wasn't doing anything. I had to cool down. I'm in playoff mode already, all right? Get to the playoffs. I really don't care about the Brooklyn game Sunday. Pacers lost. We clinched the 3rd seed. I'm happy about that. Point being is that what Tom Thibodeau said is true. Things have to change.
Yep.
We blew a lot of leads this year. Some of them were fake comebacks. There was another caller in here that said that.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that worries me, we lost a lot of edge this year, Ant.
Yep.
We lost a lot of edge. I didn't really pay no mind to it because it was like it's a season. I just want to see how the season goes. The more I look at it, Ant, we did lose our edge this year.
That's the main thing that has been missing. And
like this team is there, you know what I mean? It's not a bad team. I think this is a great team that we have. We're missing that edge.
The mojo. It just seems like, yeah, look, the edge, the mojo. This is why all reasons.
I'm not calling them soft.
Yes,
I'm not calling them soft. Just to put that in the chat. I'm not calling them soft.
Hey,
but
some people
I'm
do
missing
call
that
them soft,
toughness. I'm not calling them soft. I feel like it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's why. But final point I'm going to make is I'm letting y'all know right now. I know we're not in playoffs yet. But if we're knocked out first round, someone's getting fired.
Of course.
Someone's going to be Tibbs.
Yeah. Bottom line.
And you know I've defended Tibbs.
Yep.
But I'm going to say it right now. We should have had all our starters out in that Detroit game. This load management job that was supposedly cooked up did not work out the way it was intended. You got OG missing layups and floaters. You got Brunson. I'm not blaming Brunson. He's got to stop playing the hero ball, but he's all out of rhythm now. He's getting his rhythm back. I'm not going to lie, and I'm kind of worried. But at the same time, I want to be positive, and because it's playoffs. You know, regular season playoffs don't correlate. I do believe the Knicks will win against the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
I'm going to be watching that game very closely, though.
Yes, Yuri.
What do you think, Ant?
Appreciate the call, Yuri. I feel the same way. I'm a little worried. I'm a little nervous, but I do think this Knicks team will beat the Detroit. I'm starting to get nervous, man. I don't like the feeling. I don't. And I don't like what's coming out of the locker room. I don't like what you're hearing from your head coach. I don't like Jalen Brunson's. Well, he just looks like he's pissed off in the locker room as he should be, and I just this late in the season, I don't feel good right now as a New York Knicks fan. I don't. And
last year, man.
Yeah, things can change. Things can quickly change. You know, they can go out there and win game 1, win game 2, and then you're like, okay, we back. But I got to see that first, right?
I need to see them win game 1, game 2.
And look, the rotations are going to be a talking point, man. You got guys out there. I don't want stubborn Thibs. I don't. You got to rely on your bench. You got to rely on the tough guys. Tucker, get out there 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I don't care. It's all hands on deck. And the ball's got to be moving. Like you said, OG missed the layup tonight, but he's been phenomenal around the rim. Unfortunately, this season, I think he's only shooting like 45% from layups too, which is a crazy stat.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's a crazy stat. But yeah, Yuri.
I still have faith. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I'm not worried at all.
Appreciate the call, Yuri. Appreciate the calls from everyone. Appreciate the call. Hopping in the Knicks Nation Discord. You guys can call in as well. We do live call-in shows. I also chop up the clips, put them in the shorts, put them in the reels, TikToks, and you guys can be featured in that as well. El Figgy says Cardiac Knicks will put up a fight. I'll take a couple of years off my life, but that's the life of a Knicks fan. Yeah, Cardiac Knicks, man. It's the life of a Knicks fan. I love it. It's in our blood. You know, we've been through worse. We've been through worse, man. I mean, it took us a while to get to this point. We're complaining about a 50-plus win team, and you're like, I don't even think this Knicks team can beat the Pistons in the first round, but they will. They will. And but they got to clean, boy, oh boy, they got to clean stuff up. But like Yuri said, if the Knicks team loses to the Pistons, I don't even want to say that. I don't want to speak that into existence. I'm sorry for keep saying that. But yeah, guys, it's going to be a week probably of practice. Sunday is the last game of the season at Brooklyn. We'll see if they play, right? Everything's locked up. You know who you play. I mean, we'll see if they play. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Appreciate all the callers. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the continued support. We will be doing live streams throughout this week. Obviously, I will be back on Sunday doing a post game and whatnot. Appreciate the support. Everyone have a good night and sleep this one off. This one stunk, but Knicks Pistons first round. Can't wait. I'm excited, and we just have to wait and see what transpires. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. Smash the like button, subscribe, all the good stuff. Peace.